playing. Wait, February? Is that Chris? What's the exact date? January 22nd. This big one here. Okay. The Great Salvage Banhammer. The most shocking and unexpected wave of bans that have ever happened in Final Fantasy XI took place on January 2nd, 2009. Some players who exploited duping practices in instance zones were banned either permanently or temporarily. The exploit occurred by splitting a bunch of XP potions into individual ones, and then an alliance after defeating a monster and obtaining a drop. The treasure obtained remained in the pool instead of being lost as it normally would. This allowed the item, including Alexandrite, cells, and even rare EX armor, to be duplicated 2 additional times. Approximately 550 accounts who were found guilty of duplicating items in instance zones were delivered a permanent ban, while 400 others received a temporary ban. Jesus Christ. 550. Those aren't bots. Those are players. 550 accounts. These numbers were not nearly as high as the monthly special task force results, but nearly all of them were popular and well-known players. Oof. Oof. Almost all endgame link shells on every world were somehow affected by it. At least one significant player being banned. Among these players was Mini Dragon from Bismarck. He was quite possibly one of the first North American mats cap on any world, but was for sure the first on Bismarck. All of his jobs at the time were 75. He had all of the best items, including these rings and stuff, and he had 6 relics, which was unheard of. He was quoted to have spent 1 billion gil on his first relic. He was known to many as the ultimate FF11 player at the time. His profile can be found here. Permabanned. The West perspective. Immediately after the bannings, the various FF11 communities exploded with heated arguments and debates on both sides of the banhammer. Some cried out against the severity and inconsistency of the punishments, while the rest deemed it an appropriate and fair recourse. Players compared Square Enix's management to World of Warcraft, saying how there were very little permanent bans in WoW compared to Square Enix's harsh judgment. Blizzard would instead strip a player of all the proceeds and from such glitches instead of outright ban and temp ban them. I mean, not entirely true, but definitely not 550. Those lucky enough to only receive a temp ban did not have their armor removed, which really caught everybody by surprise. Players who were affected felt as if they were treated the same as RMT, which are actually destroying the game. Many wanted an answer as to why players were treated inconsistently in this banning. Some players who went on only one salvage run were given a permanent ban, when they might not have even known what was going on or that the dupe even happened. At the same time, some leaders, who were the instigators of the dupe, were only given temporary bans. Justice was not dealt fairly, and this is where much of the controversy originated from. What made the whole situation worse is that this glitch was not fixed until an emergency maintenance in November 2008. Around 2 years after its discovery? Bro, you can't be permabanning something. No, man. No. Okay. Yeah, alright. No. Okay, I see the controversy now. That's bullshit. I did my mistake because they left it open for 2 days and figured they didn't care. 2 years? 2 years and then went on a permaban rampage? That means that people who knew of this were able to keep it on the down low for at least a quarter of the game's life. Many players' argument was, how could you allow hundreds of endgame link shells to exploit what was clearly a very significant glitch, but only act after 2 years? It's a fair argument. It's a fucking fair argument. 2 years, dude? The FF11 parody website, Bannable Offenses, left a post where about the bans, which was stated that staff at the Square Enix offices in California were surprised. This made players assume that it must have come from Japan. Speaking of GM Dave, it was confirmed later on that GM Dave was not actually a real GM. In actuality, he was a player who was spoofing his identity and posting on the blog for humorous reactions. It did work, however. Players believed the stories due to how authentic they seemed to be. Just trolling. Just trolling. The Blue Garter community was greatly affected. This included significant players who provided a lot of knowledge of game mechanics to the community, including a player who shared the final stages of completing a mythic weapon. Many players disliked BG as a whole as it was regarded as the elitist community. BG was blamed for hiding this information from Squeenix, but it was confirmed that the problem was reported to Square Enix before discussion threads were deleted. Shut up, dude. Shut up. Oh, we're going to 2chan. The following perspective is a digest post made by Elmer the Pointy that was on jpbutton.com. The majority of 2chan posts on this day consisted of Zamamiro or Zamaya Mayagara, shortened to this. All of these mean the same thing. In your face. Literally, though, this meant look at the situation or how do you like them apples? Does this mean the Japanese community did not cheat? No. There were only 2chan and private blogs that Japanese players flocked to. Counter-arguments situations were rare, were simply lost to the popular threads. Were Japanese players banned? Who knows, as they did not come forward and admit that they were. Even if they did, the anonymity of 2chan and other blog sites left no way for us to identify them like the English websites. It was seen that they were checking out the BG forum ban list thread to see the names of those that were banned. In the end, there wasn't much in the way of juicy gossip as the North American community. It's counter to their high valuation of personal privacy. Really, who would volunteer to jump in and be roasted with a response? News sites throughout the internet cover this story. A lot of bad publicity against Squeenix. I'd never even heard of this. Was spread throughout the gaming community. And some say this begun the gradual decline of the population of FF11. Who would want to play a game if the creator's policy was, we can ban you for any reason? Yeah, this is the first time I'd heard about this. Perhaps the most amusing part of this whole situation was the sense of invulnerability that the exploiters felt. Below are a few quotes from players who frequented the BG forums. Many of these were banned. LOL. The people who should deserve to know, knew. Those that didn't. You pause. It's as simple as that. It was kept quiet so to keep the high and mighty people who deemed this sort of behaviour as inappropriate from reporting it in mass scale and ruining it for those of us who enjoyed gaining our just rewards. Do Salvage 4 to 7 times a week for a year. Complete a whopping piss poor 2 to 3 pieces and then come back with your QQing, bitch. It's just as if not more likely that a Japanese player spilled the beans. Ah, well, at least I got an Ares Fladshed for my 37 Dark Knight. The process used in game mechanics with zero hacks or forced cheats, i.e. pieces of shit hacking the game data on a computer, changes it and sends false data packets back to Squeenix. This is illegal as it is doing something outside of the game. As such, they're not going to ban anyone because no one technically cheated in the black and white sense of the word. Ah, yes. Technically, it's an unintended use of game mechanics. Technically, it's an unintended use of game mechanics. It's not actually cheating. Okay. Go cry me a river. We had 100 salvage pieces completed by Link Shell intern groups before we found out about it. If you had any friends that would trust you, you might have known about it before it got fixed, winky face. You just weren't cool enough to know about it, you fucking geeks. Hey, look at my jobs. Look at my salvage gear. Do you really want to think this fix hits me as hard as you want to? Yeah, get wrecked, noob. Wow. 2 years. I think that's unjust for a permanent ban. I think you've got to accept some fucking self-responsibility. You let something go for 2 years. Right? God, I haven't seen this clip in forever.
Jahrtausende überdauern. Wir sehen die antiken Städte vor uns, die Akropolis. Wir sehen die Städte des Mittelalters. Wir sehen ihre Dome und wissen, dass die Menschen sowas brauchen, einen Mittelpunkt. Ja, Speer. Das war meine Vision. Das ist sie doch immer.
Zack her, meine Herren! 2 Schuss und ja! Zack her, meine Herren! 2 Schuss und ja!
Frau Junge, Sie sollten hier raus, bevor es zu spät ist.
Der Führer will da bleiben. Wir können ihn doch nicht alle einfach so allein lassen.
Mit dem, was den Führer erwartet, braucht er niemanden. Am allerwenigsten Sie.
Aber der Herr Goebbels und seine Frau bleiben doch da. Die Kinder ja auch.
Oh, it's still going. Okay. It hadn't got to the good bit. Oh, the Banhammer cometh.
Das ist ja Artillerie.
Ruhig Blut, Junge. Wir sind doch zu weit weg.
Mein Führer, sind Sie einverstanden, dass ich nach Ihrem Entschluss in der Festung Berlin zu verbleiben, als Ihr Stellvertreter sofort die Gesamtführung des Reiches übernehme? Mit voller Handlungsfreiheit nach innen und außen. Falls bis 22 Uhr keine Antwort erfolgt, nehme ich an, dass Sie Ihrer Handlungsfreiheit beraubt sind. Ich werde dann zum Wohle von Volk und Vaterland handeln.
Fuck up, you cheating cunts.
Dieser Versager.
This is made by an Englishman, and I appreciate it.
Faulpelz!
Guten Tag, Frau Junge.
Herr Speer, wie sind Sie denn noch nach Berlin reinkommen?
Einfach war es nicht. Aber ich muss noch einmal zum Führer. An Ihrer Stelle würde ich damit lieber warten.
Was hat er daraus gemacht? Aber dafür müsste man ihn an die Wand stellen. Dieser Morphinist hat die Korruption in unserem Staat möglich gemacht. Und jetzt das. Verrat an meiner Person. An meiner Person!
Ich sehe das anders. Göring will die Macht an sich reißen. Diese Mischpoke, die sich am Obersalzberg um ihn rottet, war mir noch nie geheuer. Das riecht nach Putsch.
Görings Sorge ist nicht so unberechtigt. Wenn unsere Kommunikationssysteme zusammenbrechen, und das kann stündlich geschehen, dann sind wir in der Tat von der Welt abgesplittet.
Copium.
Befehle und Anweisungen können dann nicht
Copium.
mehr werden.
Ich habe den Gefechtszahn nicht verlegt! Nach Westen, wir sollen nach Westen! Wie sollen wir hier noch führen? Ich stehe 1000 Meter vorm Feind! Die kommt rein! Herr General!
Und was ist los? Woher kommt die Schießerei?
Mein Führer, darf ich Ihnen zum Geburtstag gratulieren? Mein Führer, das Zentrum von Berlin steht unter Artilleriebeschuss. Granaten sind in dichter Folge am Brandenburger Tor, am Reichstag und bis hin zum Bahnhof Friedrichstraße eingeschlagen.
Von wo kommt der Beschuss?
Mein Führer, wir haben noch keine Meldung. Ich spreche gerade mit Koller.
Koller, geben Sie mir Koller. Koller. Sie wissen, dass Berlin unter Artilleriefeuer...
Promise I won't do it again.
Bis zum Stadtkern. Ist der russische
Right,
Soldat.
right.
Man müsste die ganze Luftwaffenführung sofort abbringen. Das ist unerhört. Unerhört. Der Russe steckt 12 Kilometer vom Stadtkern. Und ich erfahre das sozusagen auf Nachfrage.
This is fucking genius.
Papa, wieso hast du denn deine Sonntagsuniform an? Der hat auch Hunger.
So, Ilse. Jetzt musst du aber auch mal was essen.
I've not seen this part. What the
Was
fuck?
jetzt? Der Zeitpunkt ist da, wir sollten das Spektakel beenden.
Was soll denn das heißen? Wollen Sie, dass wir aufgeben? Das ist undenkbar. Der Führer hat immer erklärt, wir kapitulieren nicht. Ein November 1918 wird sich nicht wiederholen. Niemals!
Aber Sie haben es doch selbst gehört, er will nicht mehr führen. Tun Sie, was Sie wollen, das waren exakt seine Worte.
Keiner hier kann ihn ersetzen, keiner. Der Führer ist der Führer.
Sonst haben wir jede Chance verspielt.
Sie wollen doch nur Ihren Kopf retten.
Ich verbitte mir diesen Ton.
Felsen in den Wind gesprochen.
Oh.
Es ist unmöglich, unter diesen Umständen zu führen. Es ist aus. Der Krieg ist verloren.
How sad.
Aber wenn Sie, meine Herren, glauben,
Oh, no.
Sie werden ihn verlassen, irren Sie sich gewaltig. Er Tun Sie, was Sie wollen.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He's gotta go play WoW. It's off it. It's about the FF11 situation. 550 accounts were banned for exploiting over 2 years. Unbelievable. Oh. Fucking savage. Well, that was a history lesson.